Not familiar with wines from the Finger Lakes region in upstate New York? Well, you're not alone. The wines are often overlooked, but the best ones, typically Rieslings, offer consistently very good quality and sometimes flirt with outstanding. That means if you're willing to give up labeled prestige, you can drink some tasty wines at great prices. Hi, I'm James Molesworth, Wine Spectator Senior Editor in charge of covering the Finger Lakes. The Finger Lakes region is located about 4.5 hours drive northwest of New York City, up near the Canadian border and the Great Lakes. That's pretty far north and pretty chilly for growing grapes, so you can expect the wines to be in a crisp and lean profile. You can also expect varieties like Riesling, which ripen in a short season, to be the prominent grapes. The region draws its name from the long, slender lakes that cut across the area, the three most prominent being Cayuga, Seneca, and Cayuga. We often talk about terroir in wines. That's the difference in wines created by where the grapes are grown. One of the key elements of terroir is exposure, how a vineyard is positioned towards the sun, and that plays a key role in the two wines that we're going to look at today. Both of these wines are grown on the sloped banks lining the Seneca Lake. Our first wine is the Anthony Road Riesling Finger Lakes Dry 2007. This is made from grapes grown on the western side of the lake, which gets less afternoon sun during the growing season, and that results in leaner, crisper styled Rieslings that emphasize their acidity. Let's give it a try. This starts out with a plump feel, but quickly shows the fresh, almost bracing profile and tangy slate and apple notes that you expect in a cool climate Riesling. It should keep its youthful profile for about a year or two. If you like older Rieslings, you can hang on to it for a few years after that. Seneca Lake is just a couple miles wide, but it runs nearly 40 miles in length. That means it takes almost an hour to drive from Anthony Road all the way around to the wineries on the eastern side. And there's an equally large difference between the wines from these two sides. The southeastern side of Seneca Lake is referred to as the Banana Belt by the locals. Now, even though it's a cool climate growing area, the sector gets a longer dose of sunlight during the growing season, and this results in some riper styled wines. Typifying that style is the Standing Stone Riesling Finger Lakes 2007. This wine has a little more residual sugar than the Anthony Road, but it's still balanced by its acidity and comes off as nearly dry in profile. Let's try it. Here we get more apple, anise, and fennel notes, along with a plumper, rounder mouthfeel all the way through on the finish. I like its exuberance now, but fans of older Rieslings may want to hang on to it for a few more years. So yes, there is terroir in upstate New York. These two wines come from the same grape and the same vintage, but they're very different in profile because of where they're from, opposite sides of Seneca Lake. And the best part? Both cost well under $20. So if you're looking for wines at a good price that don't sacrifice quality, try some Finger Lakes Rieslings.